So my name's Jeremy. I am guest support kitchen manager at the Overcomers program. Growing up, my family was pretty normal, and then when my parents divorced when I was around the age of 11 or 12, both my parents fell into addiction, and so from there on, I kind of grew up in that world. It kind of made that world seem normal to me. When Hailey was born, we found out as soon as she was born that she had aviotrichal canal syndrome, which is where two valves, in development, the two valves in the heart don't separate apart right. So I was raising her by myself. Everywhere I'd go to work, it would be 2 or 3 weeks, and from going to so many doctor's appointments, I'd get let go. So I kind of fell back into the lifestyle I knew, which was dealt with drugs. And then fast forward, and I got charged with a felony child neglect, and they took her away from me. And that was really when I fell headlong into my addiction. So over the next multiple years, say 8 years, 10 years, I spent really more time in my addiction than I spent with her. I worked out of town and was an addict, so they really, I didn't spend nowhere near the time with my child I should have. When Hailey was 12, she went to the hospital, and all the symptoms that she was having were pointing to blood clotting around the valves. So they give her a shot of blood thinner in her stomach. And when they got the lab results back, her blood was already thinner than it should have been. And she had some strokes, she went to a coma. When they got her stable enough to transport her to Charleston, they said that she was going to have a full heart transplant because she wore her heart out from her heart having to work so hard. And that night, she passed away. From being at the hospital and praying that the Lord wouldn't take her, that he'd take me instead, and giving him every reason why he should, every reason why I'd messed up my life, and the fact that she hadn't even got to live hers yet. She loved God like nobody had ever seen. From the time she could walk and talk, she knew God, and she loved God. I remember her grandma telling me when I was in the midst of my addiction that Hailey would pray for me every night before she go to bed. It hurts to know that she didn't get to see them prayers during her lifetime answered, but I know she sees them now, you know. When my daughter passed away, it was the day before the funeral, and I went to get some clothes out of my closet to see what I was gonna wear. Most of my button-up shirts wasn't fitting me right no more, and so me and my wife took off to go get some kind of dress shirt, and we was coming into Easley. We seen the thrift store right there on the left, the Miracle thrift store. They was locking the door, so we pulled up to the door, and Ashley got out, and she went to the door, and she told the guy what was going on, and he said for me to pull in and come on in. So I pulled in, parked, and went in. We get inside, and he's like, well, so what do you need? I told him I needed dress shirts. So we go back there, and we find 2 of them. And then he's like, do you have any dress pants? He's like, no, I know dress pants. He said, we'll find you some dress pants. So we go through there, and we find a couple pairs of dress pants, and then we go, he's like, you got any dress shoes? I said, no. So we went through there, and I wear a size 15 in shoes, so it's not easy to find. And there was a pair sitting back here on the shelf. And get up to the register, and I get my wallet out. He said, I don't want no money from you. He said, I just want an opportunity to pray for you before you go. That was a big thing, just to reach out and give somebody, show somebody some love in a moment that they're at the bottom of themselves. Losing her really broke my spirit, and I fell headlong into addiction. Fast forward through about a year of drug court, I relapsed. Figured I'd just have to restart. I called and told her myself, thought I was going to have to restart drug court, and they stuck me in jail, and a couple months later, they sent me to Overcomers. I remember telling David Johnson when I got here, I didn't feel like I needed rehab, but if I had to be here, I would put in the effort, and I could have been more wrong. About 3 weeks into Overcomers, I started to realize that I was angry at myself over not being there for my daughter. I was angry at God over losing my daughter, and the last time I had prayed had been at the hospital before my daughter died. Probably one of the hardest statements that I could ever admit, that I know that if Hailey wouldn't have passed away, that I wouldn't have the relationship I do with the Lord today. It was something the Lord used to really get a hold of my heart, and I'm not willing to let losing her turn me into something worse. And I'm just thankful that God used it to draw me closer to Him and help me become a better person. Between counselors sharing with me and other guys praying for me and sharing scripture with me, I started to gain peace. At Overcomers, I realized that God didn't take my daughter, He received her. Miracle Hill has given me restoration, peace through God, and forgiveness, used for myself.
I love you so much.